Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be breaking down issue 2 of Mark Millar's event comic called Big Game. In issue 1, we were kind of setting some stuff up. The villains from Wanted teamed up with Nemesis, and they want to kill all of these new heroes that seem to be emerging so they can continue to secretly rule the world. And in issue 2, shit hits the fan. This issue is insane. There's couple character deaths. I'll just tease that out here up front. But yeah, this is exciting stuff. Let's dive into it now. Issue 2 of Big Game. Big Game, Issue 2. Corbin Quinn and Danny Riley, the time travelers from the book Chrononauts, are in their office, and they are visited by Edison Crane from Prodigy, and the superhero in hiding we met last issue, Bobby Griffin. Edison and Bobby explain all about how heroes were real and the villains in 1986 got rid of them and made the world forget. Edison, he wants to use Corbin and Danny's time travel technology and travel to 1985 and see how the world looked then. See if this crazy story of the villains taking over and making the world forget is actually true. Corbin and Danny, they are a little skeptical, but they want to help. But they explain they haven't done any time traveling for 18 months. There's the environmental impact part of it, but also 5 minutes of time travel cost about $10 billion. So their time traveling has been put on a hiatus for budgetary reasons. Edison Crane, who is extremely wealthy from being the world's smartest man and running his various companies, said he has already transferred them the $10 billion they need to their bank account. Well, alright then, they're gonna do some time traveling. Corbin and Danny get into their chrono suits, and they also get some for Edison and Bobby. And they all prepare to jump back in time to 1985. They can only travel for about 5 minutes. They jump back in time, and they are in what seems like New York City, Times Square in 1985. Only we see a building that kind of looks like the Daily Planet from Superman comics, although the book does not explicitly show that that is what this is. Bobby explains to everyone, this city wasn't even called New York back then in the old days, and these offices here are where the world's greatest superhero used to work. This is where he used to dress up as an ordinary person and pretend he was just like you and me. She also points to a phone booth and says, and this is where he used to get changed for emergencies. All of a sudden, a giant robot spider-looking thing walks over them. It's the size of a building. It looks like it's going to do massive damage to the city. But then, a superhero that maybe Superman flies by and grabs the robot spider and flies it into space. Well, Edison Crane has seen the proof that he needed. They time travel back to the current day to the Chrononauts headquarters. Edison, he says he is committed now to hammering out some attack plans on these villains. Only when they arrive back at Chrononauts headquarters, all of the staff there is dead. The 2 Chrononauts, Corbin Quinn and Danny Riley, as well as Edison Crane and Bobby Griffin, all 4 of them get pumped with bullets, and they die too. Apparently, a hit squad with high-powered machine guns and laser sights was waiting for them on orders from the fraternity. Over at the fraternity's headquarters in upstate New York, home of the villains from Wanted, Wesley Gibson is exercising. He is told that Alpha Team has successfully killed all 4 of their targets at the Chrononauts facility. Wesley is especially excited about them getting Bobby Griffin. They've been after her for 37 years. Wesley says that next, he wants Hit Girl killed. Hit Girl, aka Mindy McCready, is one of the main characters from the Kick-Ass books. She was a very young and effective vigilante, trained by her father, Damon McCready, aka Big Daddy, from an early age. She was trained to be a costumed superhero and assassin, and over her career she killed many villains. She was such a popular character she even got her own spin-off books from Kick-Ass. Hit Girl now is an adult woman, and the fraternity Hit Squad is camping out in front of a few comic stores in Hit Girl's hometown in Michigan, as apparently she likes to buy comics every Wednesday on New Comic Release Day, and they figure that this is a good way to take her down. As Hit Girl is driving her car, about to park and buy her comics and be shot at, in the backseat of her car is Special Agent Gary Eggsy Unwin. He is the main character from the Kingsman, the Secret Service books and movies. Gary tells her, "I work for an independent British spy organization, and we just received intel about a number of high-profile assassinations being planned over the next 24 hours. The only one we were able to decode was you, and so I'm here to warn you." He warns her to not stop and continue driving on. Elsewhere, at the headquarters of the ambassadors in South Korea, their leader, Chun-hee Chung, aka Codename Korea, learns of their teammate, Ahmed Khan, aka Codename Pakistan, and how he is in trouble. A distress signal from him was picked up at an abandoned Siberian airport. The entire team comes together to save him. They get teleported to his location. They get teleported to that abandoned Siberian airport, and when they arrive, Nemesis is there waiting for them, and he has a giant sword in his hands. He greets them. Chun-hee warns Nemesis not to hurt him, or she swears to God. Nemesis tells her, "You'll do nothing, Korea. Don't make threats you can't back up. Your powers are all artificially generated, and I've got a friend who can steal them for 5 minutes at a time. Can you guess who he's given them to?" Nemesis somehow stole every power that they had been given access to that was being stored at the ambassador's Antarctic base, and he took those powers and somehow gave them to himself. The ambassadors here have literally nothing to fight back with. Nemesis slices Chun-hee, aka Codename Korea, in half with his giant all-white sword. Nemesis then starts borrowing various powers from the ambassador's power bank pool. He grabs one power and manages to knock them all back. When Yasmin of France asks Nemesis not to harm her son, Jean-Luc, Nemesis replies, "Do I look like I care?" He hits them with a heat blast power. He then tells the group, "Now, I know you're just a rescue squad and you never meant any harm, but you're still superheroes and my employers don't like that. Not after the old days." Nemesis borrows a Sub-Zero power and freezes them all. Then he downloads a Plasma Blast power, and he uses that to make them all crumble to pieces from their frozen Sub-Zero state. Nemesis has just killed all of the ambassadors. Once Nemesis has wiped the floor with them, a fraternity hit squad arrives. Nemesis says that next they are going to go after the vampire kids. He's referring to the kids from Millar's nightclub book. Nemesis also says, "We need to have the president deliver a message to smoke out any hero we don't actually know about yet, too." When one of the hit squad members asks, "What about Codename Pakistan here?" Nemesis replies, "Oh, I almost forgot about Pakistan. Clean this mess up too." Nemesis, with his white sword, sticks it through Ahmed Khan's body, killing him too as Nemesis smiles menacingly. And that is the end of issue 2. The cover of issue 3 teases an appearance from nightclub characters Amy Chen and Danny Garcia, as well as fan favorite character Huck from the book Huck. Will they too meet their end? All right, so that was Big Game Issue 2. Let me share my thoughts on this one. I gotta say, that was a lot of character deaths in one issue. I was not expecting that many people to be killed off. Edison Crane, the Chrononauts, Bobby Griffin, the entire Ambassadors team. What? That is so many people to kill off. Now, I just covered the Ambassadors Volume 1 a few days ago, and now it seems like they're dead. Now, mind you, I think some of these character deaths are going to be reversed by the time this series ends. I can't believe Millar would kill this many characters off. But, we shall see. We shall see. I gotta be honest, though, I'm excited by this many character deaths. It's such a swerve in the story, so unexpected. So I'm pretty hyped right now. I was very entertained by this. And I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. I'm very curious to see where it's going to go from here, and if Mark Millar is going to be able to wrap up this comic in a satisfying way. Thank you all for watching, and also be sure to check out my Mark Millar playlist where I covered a lot of the series that are crossing over into this event, so check out some of those.